We're hearing Madhya Lila 8th chapter. Verse 266, 8th chapter Madhya Lila, quoting from Bhagavatam. First sloka. Krishna Prabhu. Krishna Prabhu. Krishna Prabhu. Yeah. All the potencies manifest from him. Creation, maintenance, and destruction, everything comes from him. Everything is manifested by him, maintained by him, protected by him, and in the end, everything is also destroyed by him. And everything in the end merges in him. So, Srishti Sthiti Pralaya, creation, maintenance, and destruction depends on him. This is the definition of Brahma. All the living entities that are moving and non-moving living entities, all the things we see, everything has manifested from him. Everything is also protected by him. And in the end, everything will merge in him. This is Brahma. This is the definition of Brahma. So, this non-dual truth is Swayam Bhagavan. By the verse Janmady, first sloka of the Bhagavatam, it's being indicated that who is our worshipable deity? This sloka wants to establish who is our Ishtavastu, means our worshipable deity. So who is our supreme worshipable deity, object of worship? How is he? How is his qualities? So we are calling him Brahma, we call him Brahma, but what is the Swarupa of this Brahma? What is the form of Brahma? Advaitavadis say that Brahma has no form, but our upanishads say that actually how is the form of Brahma? All the moving and non-moving things, living entities, everything, whatever we see, and also conscious and non-conscious. Chit means transcendental, Achit means Maya. Whatever we see. Transcendental and Maya. Everything was manifested by him, is protected by him, and in the end is destroyed by him and merges in him. This is Brahma, he is our worshipable deity. So, Anyad Vyatrik. Anyad means directly or indirectly. So, directly or indirectly, directly or indirectly, everything is coming and is destroyed by him. Example, our 5 elements body, made of earth, ether, water, fire, air. So these 5 elements, like the Mahatattva. Our body came from the Mahatattva, if you think about it. There are Pancha Gyanendriya, Pancha Karmendriya, Pancha Tanmatra, Panchabhut, 5 elements, earth, ether, etc., air. Then Pancha. Okay, so wait, so all these 20, then more Man, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chitta, these 24 elements. Then after that, Atma Paramatma, 25, 26. How many elements? 26 elements. Then Vishnu Prabhu explains 2 more tattvas, Purush and Prakriti. So total, how many tattvas, elements? 28 elements. So 28 elements. So Pancha Gyanendriya, Pancha Karmendriya, Pancha Mahabhuta, Pancha Tanmatra, Man, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chitta, Atma Paramatma Purusa Prakriti, 28. Okay, so the Paramatma is Bhagavan. He's looking at everything. Two birds are living in this tree of our body. One is the bird of soul and bird of super souls, the other. But between these 2 birds, there is a black screen. What is this? Maya. If somebody like is wearing black cloth, it's like Maya. Srimati Radhika is angry when she says something black. Oh, my friend, I don't want to. Asit means black. Asit means blackish. Krishna Varan. I'm not friends of that blackish person. I don't have a relationship with anything black. Srimati Radhika is saying. When Srimati Radhika is angry in maan, Srimati Radhika says asitana sakai. I don't want to say anything black. I don't want to hear anything about also him, this blackish person, Krishna. I don't want anything with him, this blackish. But we see this black screen between the two birds in the body. It's Maya, and Maya is also a potency of Lord. External potency. There's no difference between Shakti and Shaktiman. So, actually, where Krishna is there, Maya cannot be in the same place. Krishna is like the shining sun, and Maya is like the darkness. Robi means the sun. So sun and darkness cannot coexist. But here saying that Maya is a potency of Bhagavan. Which potency? External potency, Bahiranga Shakti. Maya Shakti is also called external energy of Lord, Bahiranga Shakti. The Jiva is called Tatastha Shakti. Tatastha Shakti, Jiva Shakti, or Vibhinansa Shakti. The Jivas are called. Okay. And Maya, how is Maya? Urnavat means spider. You know the spider is making its web, spider web. So actually the spider with its own saliva, it's creating that web, and then she's like eating again, putting again that web inside of her, and then she can like move in the web, isn't it? Do you taste your own spit? No. But something again and again you're tasting, like for example, seed of mango. You're again and again you put inside your mouth, then again you suck it again, seed of the mango. So the seed of the mango, you know, you put inside and outside your mouth many times. So the example is given is that the Chinta Shakti of Bhagavan like when everything is destroyed, there's nothing, like everything comes again back to inside Krishna, God. So if there's nothing in the devastation, all the universe that you see is going where? Everything, all the universes, they go inside Karana Dakashai Vishnu, whatever you see. In a subtle way, they all stay inside Karana Dakashai Vishnu. Then when Bhagavan desires to create, then what happens? With his glance, then God stimulates the nature, material nature, Prakriti. Then slowly, all the things also gather and continue. So this is creation. So even though Bhagavan is far from Maya, like Maya does not touch him, still also this happens. You can put this simhasana on top of the other one. First try and check. Put this like bed sheet, this cloth, then you put the throne on top, then it'll be beautiful. So, I'm telling about, okay, Maya. Maya is the Bahiranga Shakti, external potency, compared to the darkness. So the example given is Yatah Urnavat. Urnavat means just like the spider. The spider, what it's doing? Is it doing? With its own saliva from its mouth. With this saliva, it's creating that web. And then again, when it's moving in the web, the saliva is going again inside the spider, and this way it's moving. So in this way, Bhagavan, with his Achinta Shakti, inconceivable potency, he is keeping also Maya inside him. Because this Shakti comes from where? Isn't it? Nails and hair? Nails and hair? Another example also given. Just like in the human body, the hair and the nails, although they are part of the body, they are also not a limb of the body. How is it possible? Do you understand? So the nails and hair, although they are part of the body, they are also not a limb of the body. But like if they are cut, you will not feel any pain. It's not a problem in the body. Why don't we feel pain in cutting the hair when we have our hair cut, or having the nails, or cutting our nails? Or why don't you feel pain? Why don't you feel pain? Because there are no nerves in these parts. Nerve cells, neurons, nerve cell, neurons. No, neurons, no, nerves. Sorry, nerve ending. No, nerve ending. Sorry, nerve ending. So I can say in Hindi or Sanskrit and English, but anyway, the point is there's no nerve ending. There's no blood. No blood inside the hair, so how the hair is growing if there's no blood? Amazing, huh? It's really interesting. How the hair is growing if there's no blood inside? So this nature, the creation of the Lord is really impressive. It's It's nice now. It's really nice. Isn't it? Yes. So I told about that. So if you cut your hair, you don't feel pain, but still the hair is growing. How come it's growing then? If it was completely material, could not be transformed in this way. So how it's growing? She's saying because the basis of the hair. But how it's growing? Okay, she's saying that the basis of the hair is producing, like, that's why. Okay, I understand. But how it's growing? Okay, something here, for example. Okay, the basis is growing, but how the end is growing? Do some experiments. The scientists say there are no nerve endings, no nerves, so blood is not coming there. If there was blood, if you cut, then blood will come out. You can do some experiments. It's really interesting, impressive. How it's growing. It's growing from the basis, no? From the basis it's growing. From the basis of the hair, then it's growing.
This is increased, but how this increase this is the joy.
Okay. The basis is growing, like producing more, but the end is material, material, like the hair itself. So how it's like growing? So this is the creation of Lord. Is really impressive and diverse. This is really like a chinta, even inconceivable. Our teeth also, hair, nails, they're growing. So there's no blood, but still is growing. How is it growing? For example, the nail. The part where there's blood, it's not growing. The part which is growing is the part where there's no blood, it's growing. How the part where there's no blood of the nail, it's growing? So this is the creation of Lord. Impressive. So in the same way. So even though Maya is with Bhagavan, she's also not with him. Like she's with him and also not. Like for example, the hair also is a part of the body, but is also not a limb of the body at the same time. Tell me which part of the body is always wet. The tongue. You know, huh? So the tongue is always wet, isn't it? So, Gurudev, some part of the body, you said one time you were asking, a part of the body that does not, sometimes you were asking like which part of the body does not, something about some limb, you're always asking one question. What is it? Do you remember? No, sometimes you're asking what is the longest part of the body, then like skin. And another question, do you remember? Remember?
So Maya जो करते हैं,
Tem aquela pergunta que o Gurudeva sempre faz, como é que é mesmo? Então, so Maya is a part of Lord. There's no difference between Shakti and Shaktiman. The only part of... I remember. Okay. So yeah, God with his Achinta Shakti, he's doing all this. Sometimes Gurudeva was asking sometimes, wasn't it something like this, like which part of the body never sweats? Isn't it one question like this he was always asking, and he wanted to give an answer? Remember? No. Okay, so directly or indirectly, beginnings. So he's detached and detached, attached and detached at the same time. No, sorry. Delete. I didn't understand actually what he said. He, like he's everywhere, but at the same time he's not touching anything. God also told in the Gita, I'm everywhere in the world, but I'm also not there. Sarat. Swarat means he's manifesting, self-manifest. Swarat, independent. Brahma, demigods, everyone. They're praising his lotus feet, and like Brahma Gayatri explains. Surya and the demigods, they are praising his lotus feet. Savitur means the sun. Another name of the sun is Savita. So sun is also worshipping him. In the Brahma Gayatri we see this. He, Bhargo Devasya. Everything comes from Bhagavan, everything is protected by him, and in the end everything goes back to him. So the Tattva Siddhanta is this. So I meditate in him. What is our object of worship in the Brahma Gayatri? This object of worship is that this object of worship, even demigods are coming and paying obeisances to him and doing stutis to him. Or toward this object of worship. You see the Brahma Vimohan Lila. Even demigods, they cannot understand, they become bewildered. Even great sages and other personalities, they become bewildered by Maya. Like just to perform Lilas, Krishna himself also, he puts under the illusion sometimes these great rishis that know past, present and future, isn't it? Like for example, Brahma is not ordinary. God also bewildered Brahma. So Brahma was thinking, Krishna is Bhagavan or not? That's why Brahma he stole the friends and calves of Krishna. He wanted to know if Krishna was really Bhagavan or not. Because the qualities that Bhagavan has, the jivas also have, but very in infinitesimal proportion. The Mukta Purushas also have. A question, like somebody may ask, if Gurudeva knows everything, if I'm doing wrong, why Gurudeva is not stopping me or chastising me, isn't it? Maybe you ask this or not? Yes. Okay, if Gurudeva, he is Sarvagya, he knows everything. Omniscient. If I'm doing a wrong thing, something wrong, Gurudeva is not watching, not seeing. So if he's seeing, why he's not stopping me? Like somebody stealing, somebody just broke the lock of the box and is stealing. You're seeing all this. So you'll say, hey, don't break the lock, isn't it? If you see somebody. Okay, if you don't see, it's another thing. But if you see in front of your eyes, so a person who's doing something wrong directly in front of you, like breaking the lock of the donation box, so for example. Will you stop the person or not? Or try to stop? Do you understand what I'm saying? So exactly, Parikshit asked this question to Shukadev. Krishna disappeared from the rasa dance. Gopis were crying. So Parikshit asked, but Bhagavan knows everything. He is seeing everything. So Krishna is not seeing their condition. How gopis are suffering for him. So first of all, please tell me, he was seeing or not? Parikshit Maharaj, he asked Shukadev Goswami. Okay, the gopis, they had so much love for Krishna, and Krishna left them and they were suffering in separation. Krishna, he wasn't looking, he wasn't seeing their condition. Wasn't he seeing their condition? Okay, second question. Okay, Krishna is looking at them, seeing them. So his heart is not melting. So why didn't he come back in front of them? So if you see someone crying, you can see someone crying, will help this person or not? Try to support the person who is crying or not? At least you bring the person to the hospital, or at least you arrange something for the person who is in distress. We're not doctors to treat the person, but at least you forward the person, like you put the person in the... You try to... Like if you have some food thing to eat, you try to give to the person, or you put the person, admit him in the hospital or something like that, or you help somehow as you can. So we see someone suffering, and also we feel some suffering because we see his condition. But if we didn't see the person crying or in distress, then no, we're not affected. But if you see, then you're affected. Sympathy is a golden key which unlocks. Does anyone put some golden key somewhere? Do you have a golden lock or golden key? Those who are intelligent, they don't put the golden lock, otherwise somebody will break his lock and take. Sympathy is a golden key which is unlocked. It's just to show, but it's actually not locked. Right? So it's not locked. It's open. Just to it's just there, like as being shown, but so why do you lock your house? Tell me. For protection. But no, actually, the thieves, they will break into people's houses. Locks doesn't matter for them. Actually, you lock your house for the good people. It's opposite. So I tell, for example, we lock the temple. Why? So that no bad person might enter, right? But I'm saying opposite. No, actually, a bad person, if you debate in logic, for example, with logic, actually a bad person he'll enter anyhow. He'll break into. He'll just break into forcefully. He'll break the lock because they use violence. They'll just break into. But the good person, so they lock for the good persons. Why? Because so that no good person would have any transformation in their mind when they see your house unlocked. For example, your house is unlocked but full of valuable things inside. So maybe a good person would see all this open, and maybe his heart would change. Means he maybe desired to something just because he saw like this. So actually we lock for the good people. So the Vaishnavas explain. No, actually we lock the things for the good people. It means to avoid good people of having the desire to do something bad when they see something unlocked or open. Because the bad people, they will steal anyhow. You get it? So those who really want, the lock is nothing. They just in 1 second they open the locks, They just open the lock and they break. Do you understand? A thief that wants to break a lock or something, he'll just do it, and that's it. Okay, I was telling about unknown. So, unknown means something from the spiritual world. So this taste, form, sound, touch, rupa, rasa, gandha, shabda, sparsha, this is also present in the spiritual world. And in this material world, this is also present, but in a material way. Try to use your brain to understand, okay? So in this spiritual world, there is also sun in the spiritual world. In this world, there is also sun. You can also see the sun here. So in Goloka Vrindavan, the sun is also rising in Goloka Vrindavan. Yeah? Actually there, Krishna is manifesting in the form of the sun, just to perform Lilas. In one of his forms, Krishna manifests as the sun in Goloka Vrindavan. Everything you see there in the spiritual world actually is a manifestation of Krishna for making the pastimes. This is Achinta Tattva. Achinta Bedaved Tattva. Everything is at the same time different and non-different, and this is inconceivable. But according to the also Tata, that sloka Bhagavad Gita, Natat Baste Surayo, Nasasakot, saying that there's no sun there, that the spiritual world doesn't need light and moon. But actually when you see, for example, this Gurudev saying about Mangalarati, Vrindadevi saw the sun rising, you know, and then she wanted to wake up Radha and Krishna. Nishanta Lila. Nishanta Lila. So Nishanta Lila is going on there or not? In the spiritual world. Do you understand? So that Vrindadevi, she was busy when the sun was about to rise. In the spiritual world. So the sun is coming from where? The sun of the spiritual world. Who is that Surja, that sun? In this world we see the sun, okay. But there's a worshipful, presiding deity of the sun. Who? Surya. So this sun that we see. Who is the presiding deity? Surya. But in the spiritual world there is also Surya. But who is Surya? Swayam Krishna. Krishna himself. So the sun is there. Otherwise, in the Ashtakaliya Lila, we see this explanation of Ashtakaliya Lila that Srimati Radhika was sleeping. They were in the solitary kunja sleeping. Then Vrindadevi, she was worried, and how the divine couple might wake up, like they should wake up. This is all in the spiritual world. But Yogamaya manifested this pastime also in this world here. We're singing this kirtan. There's a beautiful description in Govinda Lila. And Shri Krishna Bhavanamrita also. So there's sun there, monkeys, birds, all of them are spiritual. Krishna, with his inconceivable potency, is manifesting all this. That's why he's Advaitavadis Paratattva, so non-dual absolute truth. Also, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, Sabda, Sparsha, like form, taste, sound, touch, all this is also there. Like, for example, the wind is blowing there. But what is the wind there? Even Krishna also is there, manifesting as the wind. Everything which is there is actually God with his Achinta Shakti. Krishna himself manifests in that form. So, grass, creepers, everything with his Achinta Shakti, God is manifesting, all of them. So actually in Giriraj Lila, we see like how Krishna lifted Giriraj. In one form, Krishna was with Nanda Jashoda. In another form, Krishna came up on top of Giriraj, and there's no difference between the two. And then Krishna himself said, "Hey Brijabasis, look, Giriraj Govardhan." Look. Stop. So Krishna himself was with Nanda Jashoda. Then he told, look, have you ever seen Indra eating your preparations like that? So the Krishna that was with Nanda Jashoda and the Krishna that was on top of Giriraj, like as Giriraj, there's no difference between them. So this is Achinta Bheda Bheda Siddhanta. So in the spiritual world, whatever is there actually is Swayam Bhagavan. That with his potency is manifesting all this. So he has a spontaneous, inherent, and inconceivable potency. That potency is not coming outside, it's from inside, it's inherent to God. This potency. Like when you sleep in the summertime. Desire? Sorry. In the winter time, you sleep with the blanket. So that the heat from inside the blanket is coming from where? Actually, it's coming from your body, that heat under the blanket. The blanket is only keeping the heat of your body. And the heat of your body is making your body hot. So the blanket doesn't have any heater inside or something like that. Do you understand? So in the winter time we sleep with blanket. No, everyone is okay. So this is inconceivable potency even. So the heat of your body is like reflecting in the blanket, and the blanket is keeping that heat for you inside, and then this is also heating your body. Look. So this heat came from your own body, and then this heat from your body is also making your body hot. It's not coming from outside, this heat. And if your body is not so much hot, nowadays they have some kind of blanket. They put some electricity, so the blanket becomes actually hot really by electricity. Like if your body doesn't have so much heat, so material things like this. So in the spiritual world, Swayam Bhagavan Ekameva Param Ajat Kinchit Achinta Koloji Bhava. By His inconceivable potency, God is doing everything. Jiva Goswami told one verse. Jiva Goswami Ekameva Paratam. There's only one Paramatattva, Supreme Absolute Truth. And it has a swabhaviki, like inherent. Swabhaviki means actually it's completely inherent, like he didn't take from anyone else this potency. Try to understand, I'm telling. Just like I told, you don't have so much heat in your body in the winter time. You are inside the blanket, but you're not enough warm. So what do you do then? You take some heat from outside and you put under the blanket. Do you understand? But Bhagavan says, no, it's nothing coming outside. It's his own. So swabhaviki, this word swabhaviki means something that is not coming outside. I would say like innate, maybe innate or inherent. Inherent? No, inherent. Inherent. Cosa? So there is one supreme absolute truth. Ekameva Paramatma Swabhaviki Achinta Shakti. So his Shakti is Swabhaviki, spontaneous or like inherent, innate. It's not coming from outside. It's his own. And Achinta Shakti is inconceivable also, potency. Spontaneous and natural. Swabhaviki. So Anai means the Rupa Rasa Gandha Sabda Sparsha, form, taste, sound, smell, that's in the spiritual world. And Ittarataha, Gurudev is explaining Bhagavatam first sloka, right? Quoted Chaitanya Charitamrita. Ittarataha means indirectly from the lack of material contact. Just like the lotus petals. Lotus flower, lotus petal is on the water but it's not touching the water. isn't it? The oil. If you put the oil in the water, like the oil is there, but actually he's not mixing with the water. It's not mixing with the water. We can see this in this material world. Like there is some kata. So disciple invited Guru to his house, but that Guru that liked to eat delicious things. But the disciples like recently, he had just taken Harinam Diksha, was like new devotee. So Guru was thinking, how will I tell my disciple that I want to eat delicious things? Because if I say like directly, like if the disciple think, oh, my Guru wants to enjoy. Like if the person has very soft faith, and then the Guru is like, oh, do this for me, do this, that for me, very nice. The disciple might think, oh, the Guru is not bona fide. Because the Guru is saying vacho vegan, but asking like, maybe the mind of the disciple will be disturbed. Like, for himself, Guru wants to eat delicious or something nice and tasty, but at the same time he's saying that we should not, we should control the tongue. So if the Guru is not controlling his own tongue, and he's telling the disciple to control the tongue, so that disciple who has soft faith, this disciple will lose his faith in the Guru. So that's why this Guru, he liked to eat delicious. Some people they really like with so much like pep, chili and rajma sabji, beans. They want beans with sabji and very nice ghee and also masala and tomato and so many other things, also chili, and make a paste with masala. This dust like coriander powder, coriander, cumin powder. Then you make very nice. The thing in the market, they are selling people licking. What? They mix many things and people are leaking. Just like chayanprash. You know chayanprash? It's that thing that's good for the body, like it's like a paste, very thick. Because the person put all the masala in the sabji and it's like really thick, just like chayanprash. In the Western countries, it's like this. They put everything. At least 15, 20 types of masala powder they put in the sabji. They put this, they put asafoetida, ghee, and also coriander powder. Gura masala, how do you call? Cosa? Gura masala? Whole coriander powder. Yes, whole coriander powder. They put everything. They put so much. And it's like a chayanprash. It's like really thick. They think, oh, if we put a lot of masala in the sabji will be more tastier. Why I was telling all this? Guru wanted to eat. So the Guru liked to eat these kind of things, and then but the disciple was new disciple, and the Guru went to the house of this disciple to stay like maybe 2-3 days. So how to explain to the disciple? If I tell directly, then his mind may be disturbed. But how will I eat every day only simple? So just like Srimati Radhika Maharaj. In Keshavji Gauriya Math, there was a disciple of Param Guru Maharaj. His name was he also liked to eat very nicely the sabji, the dal sabji. If there was no oil and very nice, he would say, what did you do? Should be oil, ghee and chili, like chaka, like really delicious, and like chaka, do you understand? When he used to cook, I didn't want to eat. He used to eat like this. When Gurudev would chastise him. Some people, they are like this. Should be really chakachak. With ghee and oil, like frying, like. And all the masalas also. Like a Chayan Pravash he used to make. This masala, that masala, that masala. So how the Guru would tell the disciple? He said, "Oh, disciple, please prepare something light for me today. I want to eat something light, okay?" What is light, Gurudev? The disciple thought, Gurudev, light is water. Do you want to take out only water? Light is water, not more. No. No, it's something lighter than water. Guru, disciple, what? Lighter than water? Okay, something that floats in the water. Okay. Okay, Gurudev, so you'll drink the hot oil because oil is floating in the water. And then the disciple, Guru said, no, something that's floating in the oil. Lighter than oil. What is it? Puri. So he didn't want to say that, but puri. He said just, I want something very light. Lighter than water, lighter than water, lighter than oil. What is it? Something which is floating in the oil. One time I went to Australia. There was a devotee there, the disciple of Gurudev. I told him, look, don't put oil and masala in my sabji. Just a little bit some jeera you can in the beginning and some ginger. It's okay. Don't need to put anything else. Just this ginger and cumin in the beginning. He said okay. Then after, then 2-3 days later, or so, I don't know, months later, Siddhartha Maharaj came. So he remembered. I think the saints don't eat this. So he cooked just like I eat. He cooked for Siddhartha Maharaj. Then Siddhartha Maharaj said, "Am I sick for you to cook this kind of food for me?" No, put a lot of oil, masala, and chakachak, very delicious this masala. So Siddhartha Maharaj taught him, and then he was remembering Siddhartha Maharaj cooking. Then when I came back again to Australia, he cooked like Siddhartha Maharaj liked, because then he thought he was remembering that way, so he made that way. Each person like the different, some different nature of what they like to eat. Some people like to eat chili. From childhood, I don't eat chili. Some people eat chili and the mouth is burning. And sometimes they eat separately, even the chili. In Bengali, I become amazed, impressed with how they do that. There's so much chili in the sabji already, and they eat some chili outside also. They take the green chili together with the food, like biting. I become completely impressed how they tolerate this burn. So the people think Bengalis like so much chili, so they want to give to me, but actually I don't. Trivikram Maharaj, he liked chakachak or not? Trivikram Maharaj? So Trivikram Maharaj also like this delicious with this masala and these things. And Srila Narayana Goswami Maharaj, opposite of Srila Trivikram Maharaj. He didn't like this chakachak. He liked more simple. Different person has their nature that they like to eat different things, isn't it? So this is Lilas of the Vaishnavas. What can we do? Lila or not? So Vaishnava likes to eat very chak, many kinds. So some people like to eat something dry, like Raghunath Goswami, only dry things, and Raghunath Das Goswami was only eating dry chapati. The other Goswami is not necessarily, but Das Goswami has only this dry food. Anyway, so what I want to say is that
ये सूरज जिसमें परम सत्य सूर्य ब्रह्मा आदि देवता लोग भी भगवान की ऐसे लीलाओं को देख करके क्या हो जाते हैं?
So the demigods are not ordinary, but even they see the Lilas become bewildered. Demigods are really high class, but still they're performing these Lilas. Kaun no chastan? Demigods? Devata? Demigods are not ordinary, but still we see the activities of the demigods and we lose our faith in them. Suppose Indra Chandra also. We see their Lilas and our heart becomes what? Like disturbed. How possible they have this? Shiva is not ordinary, he's a Mahabhagavat. And then Bhagavan showed his Mohini Murti to Shiva, and Shiva was running behind Mohini. But these are all Leelas of Bhagavan also. So we should not lose our faith. Actually, they are doing this just to teach the Jivas. Shivaji is a Mukta Mahapurush. He's not an ordinary person. When he saw Mohini Murti, actually when Bhagavan himself manifested in the form of Mohini Murti, so Shiva became captivated and running behind Mohini Murti. How possible? It's Lila. It's Lila. Don't think that he's really like a lusty man. No. He's not a conditioned soul. Shivaji is not conditioned soul. No. He's mukta, liberated. But he's running just like a normal lusty man, but actually it's not. He also fought with Krishna, against Krishna. And when Krishna left the Sudarshana, sent the Sudarshana chakra, Shiva ran away and he went to Jagannath Puri. Ekamra Kan, one place. He went there, near Jagannath Puri. And asking protection for Jagannath, and Jagannath said, okay, I will protect you. Then Shiva came from those stairs. What is his name? Harihar Ketra. In Harihar Ketra, Shivaji himself also did a stairs. So this is Leelas they're showing. Sometimes you see the external activity of an Uttam Mahabhagavat, and we should be careful not to commit any offense. We should be careful. Don't commit offense to the external activities of an Uttam Mahabhagavat. Because a person with gross intelligence cannot understand. That's why we need tattva siddhanta to understand. Like Gurudev is saying, for example, I told, control your tongue. You should not eat nicely. You should not dress well. Don't dress nicely, don't eat nicely. Give honor to others, just chant holy names. Guru is telling this, right? And the same way time Guru is eating delicious. So disciple oh, Gurudeva is eating also delicious and telling us not to eat like this, so
तो शिष्य के क्या हो जाए?
the disciple might
अश्रद्धा उत्पन्न हो।
lose the faith, right?
हो गया कि नहीं?
Isn't it?
भले वही उपदेश देते हैं जो स्वयं पालन कर रहे हैं।
I have to give instruction if you are following that instruction.
एक कथा क्या है?
So there is another story also.
एक लड़का तो जो है
There was a boy,
पेट की बीमारी, पेट में कीड़ा हो
he
गया।
got a worm in the stomach. Worm, right? You call? In the worms?
वो बच्चा क्या करता
So
है?
he had worms in the belly, but he was eating so much sweet.
क्या हो गया?
So
कीड़ा।
he got worms in the stomach. So his father
डॉक्टर के पास ले गए।
took the boy to the Ayurvedic doctor.
और उसमें वो डॉक्टर क्या कर रहे थे? वो
Huh? Parasites, yes, parasites in the stomach. But at that time, the doctor gave him also gur, like this sweet molasses.
उनके पिताजी सारे पता चला मेरे बेटा जो बात नहीं मानता।
So the father told the doctor, look, my son is not listening to me. He eats so much gur, like this molasses, and he's having the parasites in the stomach now. So then the doctor told to the father, will not bring him tomorrow. Then the father asked, you won't give medicine? The doctor said, no, bring him tomorrow. Then the next day, father brought back the kid brought back. Then that day, the doctor gave the medicine and told, look, you don't eat gur, molasses. Then the father told, why yesterday you didn't tell this? You could have done this yesterday. You could have given the medicine yesterday and also told him, you could have told him yesterday not to eat molasses. Why didn't you tell yesterday? So the father asked the doctor, and the doctor told the father of the boy, because yesterday when you brought your kid here, I was also eating the molasses. So if I was eating molasses, the kid might think, oh, he's eating the molasses and telling me not to eat. So we have faith in that person when he gives some instruction, and he is also following that instruction. The conditioned souls are like this. But actually they are higher than us. Like for example, the father is telling the kid, you should study, my son, study. Then the kid says, father, you are not studying. Why are you telling me to study? You are going to the office and then you come back. You are going here and there. You are not studying. Why are you telling me to study again and again, study all these things? But the boy, the kid doesn't know that his father already studied everything this in the past, but the kid doesn't know. Isn't it? The father is not studying alphabet because he already studied it before, but the father is telling his kid K for camel, for lotus, like A for apple, B for ball, C for cat, KH for kargosh, rabbit. So K for camel, KH for kargosh. So anyway, like A for apple, B for ball. Like father is telling the son to study. Papa, you're telling me to study. Oh, daddy, you're telling me to study every day, but you yourself, you ain't studying. So then the father says, look, I'm studying, look. Okay, look, A for apple. So the father is showing a picture of a lotus and saying, oh, K for camel. And then the kid, okay. So sometimes the father shows to the kid, look, I'm studying also, look. Then the kid is like, oh, okay, you're studying, I'll study. So when the father is studying, he's really studying? No, he already studied before. Do you think the father doesn't know that K is for camel, like A for apple, and KH for kargosh, like B for ball, or KH for kargosh? So, but the normal kid doesn't know. He'll think, oh, my father is telling me to study, but he's not studying. So, sorry, आगे व्यक्त can you one more time? आगे व्यक्त के लिए भगवान आगे व्यक्त के लिए भगवान. So sometimes these high class saints, they become bewildered by the Yogamaya of Bhagavan. And like for example, Shiva, do you think he didn't know that Mohini was Vishnu? Shankara, he knows past, present and future. Shivaji, he's a Mahabhagavat. He's Trikalagya. He's Trikalagya or not? Yes, he knows past, present and future. Lord Shiva, he's an Uttam Mahabhagavat. He's not ordinary. But still he was running behind Mohini by the desire of Bhagavan. It's not that actually, really, Shiva was really under the control of lust or something like that and went running behind Mohini. No, this is only to give teachings. Like for Brahma also, actually. Brahma, he was also running behind his daughter. These are examples. So seeing the external activities of Nitya Mukta Mahapurush, actually all these activities, Lilas created by Jogamaya just to teach the jivas of this world. So there are two kinds. Asur, to cheat the demons and make them go far, and also to give mercy to those who have attachment for them. So to cheat the demons and at the same time to give mercy to the devotees. Vishwanath Chakravarti in the commentary explains, God and his Shuddha Bhaktas in one pastime, with the same pastime, they are like cheating those who have demonic nature. They will think, how possible he's Bhagavan? Shivaji is not Bhagavan, come on. How can he be an Uttam Bhagavat? He doesn't know that Vishnu, like how can he be Bhagavan? How can he be omniscient, Sarvaga, if he's running behind Mohini? But actually, this is also his Asura Bimohan Lila, like Shiva cheating the demons. But those who are Shuddha Bhakti are getting inspired by these Lilas. No. Shiva himself also told, I was doing that only to teach others. Did you understand at least something? So Shiva didn't know. That's why Bhagavan Vishnu appeared as Mohini. He knows everything. Still, for pastime, is like a human being. He's doing that. And people are happy to hear and see this Lila. So we feel so much bliss, happiness, hearing and glorifying this pastime. Ramachandra didn't know that there is no such thing as a golden deer. Is there a golden deer? Does exist? Golden deers exist? So like when Yudhishthira Maharaj lost in the dice game, Draupadi asked Yudhishthira, she asked, why did you bet me? Why? So she asked two things. Draupadi asked two things. After Draupadi was, they tried to disrobe Draupadi. She asked Yudhishthira two things. Look, you had already lost in the dice game, okay? You were, so why again you even stake, like you bet, put me in the bet, and your brothers also, you stake. Anyway, I forgot the word, but anyway, you put me in the bet and also brothers. I'm not only your wife, because Draupadi belongs to the 5. Okay, if I was only yours or your wealth or something, you could, but I'm also the wife of your brothers. You didn't ask them. Draupadi asked two things to Yudhishthira Maharaj. And what is the answer Yudhishthira gave? Draupadi, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. Actually, I did everything because God inspired me to do that. How is it possible? Then Yudhishthira gave this example. Example from Rama Lila. Did Ramachandra not know? Okay, Ramachandra is Bhagavan or not? Yes. So Ramachandra, God is omniscient, knows everything or not? Yes. So Ramachandra knew or not that the golden deer is not a deer, is actually Marich. Was actually Marich, the demon, in disguise. The demon with his Tantra mantra, he manifested the form of a golden deer. Actually, Bhagavan Ramachandra, he knew everything. But so Sita told him to catch the golden deer. But you think Ramachandra didn't know? Okay, if he knew, why did he run behind the deer, golden deer, if he knew it was not a deer, it was a demon? Why? This is Lila. So Yudhishthira, in the same way he gave answers to Draupadi, told Draupadi, look, actually whatever I did is actually, I didn't do. Actually, Bhagavan inspired my heart and I did as such. So the Uttam Bhagavat, everything he does, all his activities are according to the desire of Bhagavan. Bhagavan inspires them and they make them do everything. God makes them do everything. Do you understand? Uttam Bhagavat, like for example, Nityananda Prabhu. He has many alokik kriya, like some things that, like if you try to imitate Nityananda, then it will be a big problem. Do you understand? Nityananda Prabhu, he's Swayam Bhagavan actually. He's directly Baladev Prabhu. And Baladev Prabhu is directly Bhagavan. So the Lilas that Bhagavan is doing are not for the jivas. Do you understand? Nityananda Prabhu first was a brahmachari, then he became a grihastha. Then after becoming grihastha, first became sannyasi and then he was always wearing nice clothes. Nityananda Prabhu. So first he was sannyasi, then like brahmachari sannyasi. What? You tried already. So Nityananda was chewing pan, betel nuts. And like many kinds of ornaments also he had. So what is this? He's Bhagavan. He can do that. Nityananda knows everything. It's not possible for the jivas. So if the jiva imitates, big problem, it's a fault, great fault. Nityananda got married, so he also married, like in the way, Nityananda, he was sannyasi, then he married with two women. No? So he is Bhagavan, for him it's possible, isn't it? Slagrudev. You said the guru knows everything, why he's not saying the bad? So even though Gurudeva knows everything, Jogamaya covers. He knows everything, but if you speak also, the disciple might lose his faith, like thinking, he's only speak like every day he's like implicando comigo, like every day he's like again complaining about me and speaking my faults. It's like those who have so much faith. If the guru is like every day, you did this wrong, then the disciple think, oh, Gurudeva will only tell me to do bhajan, only look at my faults all the time. So Parangurudeva, what happened? There were two brahmacharis fighting with each other with some stick, burning stick. And then the disciple came in the middle. Then after fighting, they came to Paranguru Maharaj. Then Paranguru Maharaj said, you go to court and solve yourselves your problems. The story of Paranguru Maharaj, you see this. I didn't come to this world for this. To see or fight with each other, or like to do bhajan, or so. We see also this Lila. It's working. Have you read this, heard this story? Yes. I will do Hari Bhajan, or I'll check which brahmachari did that or that while we're thinking about this. You tell me. I will do Hari Bhajan, chant holy names, or think which brahmachari did this with that or not. Every day something like this happens. Okay, sometimes the Guru says, like, don't sleep, don't stay so much awake, try to sleep on time, try to eat on time, try to chant holy names in the proper time. But every day Gurudev is telling this only. Isn't it? Is or not? Otherwise we'll think, oh, okay, sorry. So why Parikshit Maharaj, he asked about the gopis, right? God didn't know, Bhagavan didn't know the gopis were crying. Remember, Parikshit asked two questions to Shukadev Goswami. Bhagavan didn't know. So if he knew that gopis were crying, why didn't he come to them? Then Shukadeva Goswami said, Yatah akashavat, just like the sky. Just like the sky is everywhere. Right? Bhagavan is also everywhere. So we are sitting under the sky. Where are we sitting? On the earth. Under the sky. So, can you see the sky? Okay, if you say, okay, Krishna was seeing like the viraha of the gopis, so why didn't Krishna come to them? How he was so cruel that he saw their suffering and didn't come. Then Shukadeva Goswami told, this is the Lila of Bhagavan. By the separation, because Viraha Lila makes the Milan Lila, the meeting pastime, more relishable. This is the thing. Is it or not? Like Krishna, he made this separation in the gopis' heart, being far from them, and then he relished more the rasa in the Milan meeting, because the separation, viraha, is meeting the meeting, nourishing the meeting. If there's no separation, the sweetness of the meeting wouldn't be so delicious or amazing. So separation, really, the separation nourishes the meeting. Time's up. So even great demigods, they become bewildered by the pastimes of Lord. So this is the meaning of adikavaye mujanti. So even sometimes the demigods cannot ascertain what is the supreme truth. Like, for example, Brahma. Brahma knew that Krishna is Bhagavan, but by Jogamaya, he was thinking, how possible Krishna is Bhagavan, eating the remnants food of his friends? How can he be God, Bhagavan? So that's why Brahma stole the calves and friends of Krishna. So mujanti means, muhyanti means Demigods are sometimes not able to ascertain who is the supreme truth. And then Jatsura, Adhikavaya means Lord gave all the tattva in the heart of Brahma. Adhikavaya means in the first sloka of the Bhagavatam means okay, so now Tejovari Mridam. Okay, tomorrow I continue speaking. So 3 elements: Tejovari Mridam, fire, water, and earth. Mridam means earth. This is coming in the sloka of the Bhagavatam. Trisarga, Sattva, Raja, and Tama. So Trisarga can also be Antaranga, Tatashta, and Bahiranga. So God has 3 potencies: internal potency, external potency, and Tatashta, marginal potency. Tatashta are the jivas, Bahiranga external is Maya, and Antaranga internal Shakti is Swarupa Shakti, also called Chit Shakti, spiritual potency. So Swayam Bhagavan, he is Satchidananda. Presiding deity of Chit Shakti. Chit means Chit again. Krishna himself. Presiding deity of Sandhini Shakti is Baladev Prabhu. And presiding deity of Hladini Shakti is Srimati Radhika. So the 3 also in Krishna. So 3 in 1. And then this 1 also in 3 separate. Krishna, he is Krishna. Then Srimati Radhika also manifests separately as Srimati Radhika. And from his right hand, Baladev Prabhu. So Krishna in the middle. Then Radharani, left side, manifested from left side of Krishna. And from his right side, manifested Baladev Prabhu. But then the 3 are also together in one form. Is Vichitra Lila. Very diverse Lila, no? Interesting. Because he's one and he manifests in 3 forms. One form Srimati Radhika, another form himself Krishna, and another form Baladev Prabhu. But also he's also the Satchidananda form himself. Okay. So he took the Shakti of Srimati Radhika, but he took the Shakti maan of Baladeva. This is also very amazing. So Baladeva, he took what from Baladeva? Diya or Liya? He took the Liya gaya or Diya gaya? Diya. Diya or Liya? Liya. He took the Shakti from Srimati Radhika and took Shaktiman from Baladeva. So Baladeva manifested from Krishna. And Radha from Krishna also manifested. But the tattva of Srimati Radhika, she is Shakti tattva, potency. But Baladev Prabhu or Sadashiva, they are Shaktiman. So one supreme absolute truth. Although God is one, he's appearing as Shakti or Shaktiman also. It's Achinta Shakti. Who can understand? Baladev Prabhu is no different from Krishna. Srimati Radhika is also no different from Krishna. There's no difference between Shakti and Shaktiman. But one is Shakti Tattva and another is Shaktiman Tattva. Baladev Prabhu is which Tattva? Shaktiman Tattva, Bhagavat Tattva. So this Gyan began, knowledge realization. So Narayana also, he manifested all tattva to Brahma. Then Brahma still also was bewildered. This is interesting, no? Very. Swayam Bhagavan manifested in all tattva in the heart of Brahma. Everything. Knowledge and realization in the heart of Brahma. But the same Brahmaji later on, he saw Krishna and he became bewildered. So Amrisha means factual, truth. Amrisha means, so Mrisha means illusion, like Branta, like confusion. So the original word is Mrisha, means like illusion. Something which is not true, like an illusion. So Amrisha, factual or truth. Mrisha means illusion. It's not the perfect truth. Then Amrisha means what is true, what is not Maya. Swena Dhamna. So God himself also manifests as the Dham. Like Chiddam, Vrindavana Dham, Navadvip Dham. What is it? Actually Bhagavan himself. If he's Sandini Shakti, he manifests the Dham. Mother, father, everything comes from Krishna. And Krishna comes from them. It's amazing Lila. Like a Purva, unprecedented Lila. Chaitanya Charitamrita explains. They are all manifestation of Sandini Shakti, his mother, father. At the same time, Krishna took birth from his own parents. It's unprecedented. So Nirasta Kuhakam, devoid of all illusion. Sorry? So Krishna is called Kaparta Purusha. The gopis call him Kaparta Purusha. Kaparta means cheater or like a hypocrite, duplicity. But what does that mean of Kaparta Purusha? Kaparta is in this world duplicity and hypocrisy. But Kapart means also another meaning is he's always hiding himself. It means he's always hiding himself, like Krishna says, I'm not manifested everywhere. I'm covered by Yogamaya. So this is really beautiful. So this Sati Swarup, the supreme absolute truth, I meditate on him. At least to explain 1 month at least only for the first verse of the Bhagavatam. Then we can really speak about this verse. 1 month it takes to speak about the first sloka of the Bhagavatam. So now we describe about the tattva siddhanta of this verse. So there is one verse explaining in the perspective of Krishna tattva, then perspective of Radha tattva, then perspective of rasa. So at least 4 kinds of visions of the explanation. 1 tattva vichara explanation of this first verse. So today we spoke of the tattva vichara of the verse. Then Krishna par vichara, like the conception being Krishna like more prominent. Then 3rd Radha par vichara, the conception of Srimati Radhika being prominent. And then the two together, Rasa and Krishna, then Rasa para tattva vichara, like the conception considering the rasa of Radha and Krishna together. Sorry, what did you?
Second person, only one person.
Only one?